It's sort of like, no, you're much bigger than that. There's more to it. There's a bigger picture here. Sort of get in touch with this bigger picture, right? This is where I'm very curious to know, because you hear a lot about manifestation. You hear a lot about a lot of things. A lot of people have their own way. There are a lot of courses out there, a lot of information. But I want to know from your perspective, not only sort of what it is, how to actually do it, but more so to maybe debunk the myths out there. So can you give us maybe your, I don't know, top three, biggest myths about um, what manifestation is and how it works? Keep watching until the end, because Jeanette and I will do a little card reading for the month ahead. And so if you want to know what these two psychics, what cards they pull for the month of February, so keep on watching, right?
Yeah.
We'll do that at the end.
Three misconceptions about manifesting. One, I would say, would be that we have to work, 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 do to make things happen. I think that's a huge conditioning concept that's ingrained in us to keep us on the hamster wheel. Conception two, I think that being worthy or deserving of it, I think a lot of us close the door to a lot of opportunities because we don't, it's like that belief in ourself diminishes, and truly we are all divine. We are all entitled, in a healthy entitlement to those desires that we wish for, because why else would we wish for them unless they were meant to be in our life for our purpose, for our path and destiny. So I think working, not enough self-worth or too much self-doubt. And then a third misconception about manifesting. Well, the word that came to me was that it's hard to do. Like that would be going with the work, work, work thing. I think a lot of us think that manifesting is hard, or we have to, it's difficult to attain what we want. And I don't think that that's the natural flow or state that things are supposed to be. I think that is a belief that can shift your perspective and then affect your reality. But it's once we give that power to that belief, then our life becomes hard. Then we create our own obstacles. We start, the power of the mind is so amazing, and we are so powerful, and we don't realize that. And so when we accept that belief, it immediately starts affecting in our life and showing up as a confirmation. It starts confirming what our mental perspectives are. So if we believe that it's hard, if we believe this, that we're not worthy, it's the world and our reality is going to copy that, right? It's just going to show us what we're sending out.
The universe will respond.
Basically, that's really how effortless it is. It only just responds based on our belief system and our energy, like you said, our energy vibration, what level that we're vibrating at. The problem is there's so many distractions in this 3D reality, this physical existence, that it does deplete our energy. It keeps our vibration low. And then our belief on top of that influences, again, what we manifest in our reality. So then, therefore, that's where we create our own obstacles.
I see. It's sort of like, even if I were to say for a whole week, meditate upon, more financial abundance. But if underlying that, I have this issue with self-worth, thinking that I'm not worthy of receiving any financial abundance, then sort of the universe is going to respond to that mental, right? Yes, there's no clear ask, for the universe, because but you say you want this, but actually you're believing this. And so in this way, we stop our manifestation because of these underlying beliefs that we may have and conditionings. Is that true?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we are our own worst enemy, in the fact that We are powerful. We are meant to be powerful manifestors, and we're meant to be creators,
Right.
but unconsciously, again, I'm always like, be conscious, because unconsciously
Yeah.
we're hurting ourselves. We're battling ourselves. We're doing this, to ourselves.
So what can we do then to bring more consciousness into our lives so that we can manifest with more ease and flow, like you say?
Okay, so I'm gonna go all techie,
Go ahead.
and I'm gonna do like matrix terminology, because it's a great way for you to visualize the concepts that I'll be sharing,
Okay.
and really, I think, understand process. So
I just want, before you start, I just want to confess that I have never seen any of the Matrix movies. But at this point, it comes up so much in spiritual, in the spiritual scene, that I feel like I've seen it. But I just want to confess that, put that out there. I've never seen the Matrix, but yeah, blue pill, red pill, I kind of sort of get it now.
get it.
So go ahead.
Feel like I had to Google it for the first time, but I
Yes.
got it. I mean, I'll use just those terms, but so that it can relate to most people. But I think it's still relatable. Like video game terms. I'm gonna be using like video games. So obviously,
I
kind of
don't play
people
video.
know those. So so basically, there is like a program. We're all following the same universal laws, right? We're all in imagine a game. Imagine life as a game.
Mhm.
There's these universal laws. So right now we're living in the physical, or we're experiencing. Our perspective is down in 3D. You could call these different dimensions of reality, different planes of existence, all the tools that you have to use to manifest. But most people are stuck here in the physical 3D, manifesting in this realm where nothing manifests, you guys. Nothing can manifest. So again, you're on a hamster wheel. If you're only working in the physical 3D, okay, taking actions, walking through the door is necessary, but this is where the aftermath is. This is where the playground is of your mind. So imagine that the 4D is like kind of your emotional realm, the 5D is your mental realm, and then you move up to the sixth spiritual, seventh. Usually the seventh is the Christ consciousness dimension and realm, and then that is where instant manifestation is birthed. You can still manifest from the higher, maybe the mental mindset is huge. That's a huge block from where we are now to that Christ consciousness, right? So clearing that 5D and that mental block and emotional block then aligns us with this spiritual hierarchy. So I believe everything as above, so below. If you go to the core, the spiritual place, and manifest from there or align with that, everything that you created or shifted from that space, the higher dimension, will have no choice but to manifest in your physical reality. So you don't have to make an effort in the physical if you do it at the core level. So example, you're in a virtual video game.
Mm-hmm.
So right now you have these goggles on and you're playing so we're playing at that level of the program's already made, the bad guys are already on their way, we have to make these certain jumps, we're in the game.
Right.
That's not real, and that's not reality. If you can shift into the different dimensions while you're kind of in this virtual game, you realize you're in the game. You don't get caught up, right? That you're like, this is real. First of all, it's not real.
Right.
This is a game, and it's a movie, and you're creating it. And it's real because we're paying attention to this moment right now in this space. We're present. But if you can slow down and say, the video game, you pause it, you go into your settings, and you can grab some tools. So I'm not saying that you don't want to invest. You can invest and pay money and do things in this reality to level up, but all of it happens in the settings.
Okay.
All of
I
it happens
get
in
it.
the core. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
you've got to shift to there to change your skin with, like, your
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Avatar.
uniform or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I'm using these terms. You can wield and create by switching and shifting settings, which again is mindset
Mm-hmm.
settings, right? If you can get into programming it how you want, make everything aligned, then what's going to happen once you push unpause? Oh, I have access to all these new guns, all these new
Mm-hmm.
tools. I've got armor. I've got, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You've got a better chance. And not only that, so life becomes easier. The manifestation in that 3D realm, the video game becomes easier because you did it at the core. You did it at where the true source
Mm-hmm.
is. You need to tap into source, which is in a different dimension. It's in a
Right.
different level of reality. And that's what multidimensional self is. It's like tapping into those different realities and multidimensions and accessing your full, whole, higher
Mm.
self, not just living in the 3D. You have no power, hardly any power
Right.
in just physical.
It's like the power that you do have in the 3D is takes so much more effort than if you were to sort of rally up all these
Mm-hmm.
dimensions and work on that level. You said something I want to pick up on two things. First, can you sort of give us the top down levels?
Great. So the spiritual hierarchy, you could make it into 4 pillars.
Okay.
So you've got the spiritual, mental, emotional, and then physical. And everything trickles down from the spiritual. I mean, yes, there's different levels of the spiritual, and you lose that separation. So really, us coming to earth, we've descended from our source. So yeah, like when we're in this virtual reality, it's almost like a prism, and our consciousness is pinpointing to this presence, to this moment from this perspective of individualism.
Mm-hmm.
But the truth is that we're not this individual, right?
Right.
Or so that's where you manifest, is from that place of oneness or that higher dimension or the settings of the program.
Mm.
Or you can go to the architect and rewrite the whole game. It depends on how high you go.
Yeah, this is the second thing that I wanted to ask you, because when we were talking about sort of being in this video game and changing the settings appear to be more sort of like mindset. So if I shift something in the spiritual, say by doing a past life regression, for example, will it automatically trickle down, or is it possible that it's gonna sort of hit a wall at mindset? And sort of even if I fix, I'll put this in quotes, if I fix something on the spiritual or higher level, um, will it happen regardless, or do I still have to work on my mindset and physical circumstances, emotions, etc.? Like, do I have to work on all levels anyway, or is it like you can bypass by going higher?
That's an excellent question, because it's going back to the hamster wheel. You can do things 2 ways. You can
Mm.
work your way from down to up, and that's the hardest way, because you're changing your emotions, changing your mindset without understanding what you need to change. You're
Mm.
really shifting it that way. But absolutely, so be it, so be it, so be it. You do it on the spiritual, it's done. It's done. So the thing is now the cause and effect.
Mm-hmm.
You will still, it will go from your consciousness and it will go from the spiritual, and kind of a wave will hit you in the mental. You might see an opposition in your physical reality that's not an opposition, but it's an opportunity to
Okay.
allow yourself to now process it mentally. So,
Okay.
so you will start to see the shift immediately, but again, it might take you 1 week, it might take you 1 month to process this new download,
Mm.
right? It's like a new program just got switched. So you're processing, and then after you process it mentally, you conceptualize the new idea, it moves down to your emotional. So you might still have like what they call ascension symptoms,
Okay.
but you're releasing it emotionally. This could be getting sick or clearing out some sinus junkage, um, stomach pains or pains in your body because they're showing themselves to you so that you could work to heal them or breathe into them or
Mm.
process, right? And then you start to see it in your physical reality. So I'd like to, this is a great place to point out that the clearer your vessel is, the better you sleep,
Mm.
eat, exercise, the clearer, the faster it'll actually manifest in your physical reality. So if there are more blockages, like you said, blockages, and now
Right.
it's done. It's going to happen either way, but is it going to be the hard way or the easy way as it
Mm.
trickles down, you know?
I see. And I feel like this is also the importance of developing self-awareness in the sense that if I'm completely clueless to what's going on inside, either my mind or my body, it will be that much harder to sort of process this information, right? I see. So
Yeah.
is that maybe why sometimes our manifestations, we kind of want it to happen right away, but it really doesn't? It takes like months or
Yeah.
years just because we're maybe not completely ready. Sort of all dimensions are not aligned with one another. There's sort of this dissociation between them, and things need to be aligned to move forward and to happen. Is that how you interpret it?
Yes, absolutely. You
Okay.
nailed it. It's it's alignment is key. And the more clear your vessel is, the more clear channel, more aligned, the faster things will manifest. And like you said, the more unaligned you are in certain aspects of yourself, then it's gonna. I get
Mm.
this image of like what the ping pong ball or like those
Yeah,
ping
yeah,
pong
yeah.
games. It's like dee 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 dee. It might
Mhm.
take a while to like to really settle down.
Yeah.
Again, we have the power and we have the control over that.
I love how you speak about manifestation because it is so much giving people power back. It is telling people sort of, "Hey, you might wanna, pay attention to this or that," sort of increase your self-awareness. So it's not sort of this, "Oh, you can just do work on the spiritual and then everything will happen to you like this and it's all good." Manifestation is basically a joke. It's not it. It's basically you do have to work in a certain way because you do have to keep your body healthy, your mind healthy, etc. And you have to explore or be in touch with those other higher dimensions of yourself too, right? And
Mhm.
not think that you create your reality solely in this 3D, that you are this little avatar that's basically powerless and like, oh, let me try to control this for as much as I can so that it starts working. It's sort of like, no, no, you're much bigger than that. There's more to it. There's a bigger picture here. Sort of get in touch with this bigger picture, right? Check out your settings, make sure that your mindset is right, take care of this little body of yours, and that's when you manifest.
So yes, you're absolutely right. I think, and I even think that Conversations with God touches upon this, but the reason why this isn't such an easy concept for people to digest is, well, if they can accept the fact that they are in control of their life, they do have power,
Mm.
and they are the creators, well, they have to really also have a lot of self love and compassion because they have to realize that what they're doing to others or themselves is all their responsibility. And so a lot of people like to pawn off that
Mm.
responsibility or that choice or that power because
Right.
they're afraid. They're afraid of themselves. They're afraid. The illusion they think is better. It's because it takes off that responsibility to,
Mm.
again, of the law of cause and effect. They don't think they're getting any karma. Like it's like, oh, my hands are clean of
Mm.
it, and no, it's not. You're just not realizing that eventually it's going to catch up. Eventually you will have to face yourself.
Mm.
But I think that's what people are afraid of, this manifestation or owning their power. I think that's just the one blockage. But when they see that really stepping into their power has so much more benefits and
Mhm.
it's not as hard as they think, then their world starts to go as they want, and they are so much joyfuler and happier, but they don't see from that spectrum
Right.
yet because they're stuck in the pretend, illusionary, false reality of the mind matrix that we're in.
The safety of their now reality.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes. They're false safety. They're
Yeah.
they're in the box, right?
Mhm. Yeah. On this note, I feel like it's a great moment to grab our oracle boxes and maybe draw a few cards. What do you think?
Yes. So
Yeah,
you
show
might
us
want
the
to pause
deck.
it and show you, of course. I'm gonna go with the classic today.
Great.
Yeah, I always use my skate, but I'm like, I think this would be kind of fun because again, a lot of classic symbology.
All right. And I will be using the Kyle Gray Angel Prayers today.
Ooh, I like that.
So it's sort of like a little help from our angels to manifest our desires. Why not
Yeah.
use our allies in other realms to make this happen?
So this is, I think, perfect for today because it's the Ace of Swords.
Mm,
So we were talking about shifting the mindset or the mental perspective and having a different perspective on your whole being and how to use and facilitate like all of the parts of you
yeah.
to really manifest. And so I think the Ace of Swords represents new mental perspectives and new thoughts, clear thoughts, cutting through the garbage, and just like there's no cloud. Well, there's the clouds in the past, right? But
Right.
you're cutting through that veil, you're cutting through that mesh
Mm,
and that fogginess, and you have more clarity. You have your power and divinity. So it's like at the top, that Christ consciousness, you're connecting to that. And then with the vines, it's like that literally says what I said today. Everything manifests from the spiritual and moves down. So you
mm,
see, you plant your seeds at that level and that dimension. So even this is just a beautiful
love
representation
it.
of spiritual hierarchy. Yes. And where's the sword? It's in your hand.
Mm.
You have the power. Boom.
This is great. And for real people, for real guys, like this is not planned. We didn't pre-select the cards. Okay,
Just
so mine, this is just how it happens, you know?
of
Um,
course.
so the card that I pulled actually is the card of transformation. So it really works out, right? It
Works of
says,
magic.
thank you, Zadkiel, for supporting me to transform from my past challenges. And I want to show the card. It's beautiful as always with Kyle
Oh,
Gray's decks. And really, this speaks about, first of all, you're supported, right? From your guides, your angels, your loved ones. You're always supported in this transformation of you aligning with your higher self. But it's also, like you said, sort of like, thank you for helping me move through these mental blocks. Thank you for helping me understand and change my beliefs, right? And get rid of all these limiting beliefs. So for me, it's kind of like, all right, this is what this card reminds me of, letting go of all that baggage and sort of transforming into this higher self, into this higher timeline and aligning yourself with that through your manifestation powers. And even I like that on the card, there's sort of like this magical sort of, I don't know how you call that, but
like a
like a,
cauldron.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And because a lot of people consider manifestation to be sort of magical, right? And it is, but the real, the truth is that everything is magical because everything is divine. And so in this, we're really just acknowledging the divine in all that is and saying thank you for being here with me and supporting me and guiding me through this transformation. I find that it's really perfect. So for the month of February, guys, these two cards really invite you to take your power back, sort of get real on what is blocking your manifestations, and maybe revisit these pillars that Jeanette was talking about, right? The spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical, and see maybe, okay, if I'm trying to manifest something, it's really not happening on the timeline that I want. Where is my blockage, right? What am I not doing? What am I not seeing? What am I maybe not aware of yet? And maybe try to journal or, meditate or do something that will shed a little bit of light on those blockages.
Absolutely. Go to the core, go to the source,
Yeah,
connect and align with your higher self.
and so it is.
So it is.